Hi, I'm Kimberly George with Sedgwick. I have enterprise responsibility for product development and innovation. And with me today is Max Koonce. Max, will you introduce yourself?
Sure, Kimberly. Max Koonce. I'm the Chief Claims Officer for Sedgwick and have responsibility for a variety of different things within the company, but a lot of it having to do with best practices and how we continue to evolve with the way that we manage the business for our clients.
And Max, we're here today to talk a little bit about our time so far at WCI 2023. Thank you for sitting in on the Outfront Ideas with Kimberly and Mark opening industry keynote yesterday. We had a great conversation with our guests talking about why technology isn't evolving, how we might evolve in the future. And I think our guests had a lot of unique viewpoints. From the chair with which you sit, what were some of the aha moments or takeaways?
Well, I think, first off, I love the title of the conference as a whole. It's, game on, get in the game, however you want to phrase it. But what it's talking about is that, and I think this was emphasized, especially by some of the comments that were made from your speakers, was that we're at a pivotal point. We are at a point within the industry as a whole that we can either jump in the game and utilize technology and data to really enhance the process, to drive things forward, to deliver better outcomes than we have in the past, or we can stick in the mode that we have in the past. And what I was intrigued by from the standpoint of Vin and Scott and Julie was their comments fairly well coincided with it is that opportunity.
Yeah.
We are at that point, and how can you take advantage of it from their viewpoints?
It is interesting how similar their viewpoints were regardless of the chair they sit in.
Right.
So we had Chief Client Officer Scott Rogers with Sedgwick, Julie Layton, Managing Director with Marsh, and then Vin Fetheringham, who has such a rich risk management background. Right. One of the areas I thought was interesting was the opportunity to streamline the claims process, really trying to improve experience and efficiency in the system, which all three spoke about. The one area that I think a lot of folks are still questioning is this opportunity for high frequency, low severity, or in our workers' compensation world, medical only type claims with some light touch or, we call it straight through processing. But as a chief claims officer and a former employer managing a claims system, how do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a tremendous opportunity. And I liken it to the process that you see in the group health arena. So when you think about how we deal with going to the doctor for a virus, or we've got a sinus infection or something like that, our process is 100% electronic, aside from the actual visit with the physician. But we're making the appointment online, we're reviewing our medical records online, where the process as far as bill payment is taken care of online. Everything is through technology. And so when you think about the generations that are now in the workforce and what their expectations are, is I think there's a tremendous opportunity for us to take what is done on that side and move it to the workers' compensation arena so that you really could automate that initial or med-only claim process, which remember is medical only is roughly 80% of the workers' compensation claims. So you're talking about being able to automate in a way that people are already used to because of the group health arena and do it in the workers' compensation process. Tremendous opportunity. The challenge is, to some extent, the regulatory environment. Is will it allow us to actually operate in that fashion?
It's a really good point. The other aspect of the conversation yesterday that might have made a few people hesitant or cringe, and hopefully some that were a bit excited about it, is the opportunity for AI and ChatGPT to really evolve how we support adjusters. So I'd love to get your take on that.
Oh, this is something that I am very excited about. And I think you made the point in the talk about, we're not talking about AI replacing, but instead enhancing. So it's in addition to that human touch, it's in addition to that human engagement. And that's where I see the tremendous opportunity, is taking artificial intelligence, and like from our standpoint at Sedgwick, we have this tremendous amount of data.
Yeah.
And how can we utilize it in combination with artificial intelligence to actually create a better experience for that individual claim, so that you're getting the most critical outcome that you can for them, the best outcome possible for them, in the most effective and efficient manner. So I think there's tremendous opportunity. But as you said, it's in addition to that human touch, which is always going to be a necessary part of the workers' compensation process.
Yeah, I think I said it helps humans be more human.
There you go.
We are in the business of caring. We're not trying to get rid of the wonderful claims team and nurses that support the claim. So I'm glad you hit on that, because I do think it's important, and it'll be part of our industry message, I think, around how we can more efficiently take care of injured workers while improving their experience.
Agree.
I feel like some of the opening keynote feeds right into some of your sessions. So how have they been going? What were some of the topics?
Well, yesterday I led a session that was focused on lessons learned in moving forward, which fit very nicely in everything that was really talked about in the keynote. The first session really talked about medical and where we are in the medical arena today. We know that the American Hospital Association has come out and told us about we're going to be short of, I think it's 1.25 million physicians by 2035. That we need an additional 200,000 nurses a year right now just to handle the workload. So the healthcare environment has changed, and how do we operate in it? The first session talked about telehealth and how that plays into it. How do we address the current needs of individuals? We know that behavioral health is becoming a bigger and bigger component of that. So it really talked about medical care today and what does it look like for how you approach it in workers' compensation. The second session really talked about the current expectations within the workers' compensation arena. And we started out by talking about things haven't changed. You still need to pay the medical bills, you still need to take care of the injury, still need to pay the disability. That's the fundamental tenets of workers' compensation. How you get there is the opportunity. So how do you manage 5, maybe 6 generations in the workforce, meet their needs from the standpoint of providing them assistance, meeting their expectations? How do you manage it in the environment? We talked a little bit about AI and data and different things that can help us streamline. Then the third session really focused on data and technology. And this was probably the session I enjoyed most, because I heard some just great things from like Susan Szymanski and what they're doing at Adecco and with wearables and taking the data from that and enhancing the safety of their employees. And then you heard Brian Connor with American talking about what they're doing in American Airlines and how they're focused on that safety aspect. And then also using the data to enhance what they're doing on the workers' compensation administration side. And then Ramona with WCRI talked about all the different trends they're seeing and how they are really one of the first to combine trends outside of workers' compensation and bring those into comparables for workers' compensation, which I think is one of the biggest opportunities when we think about data is what additional sources can we bring in to help us drive better outcomes. So great segues into all those, wonderful topics, wonderful panelists, and just had great conversations yesterday afternoon.
You get me excited for workers' compensation. I mean, the topics that are here this week at WCI are really cutting edge, but help the attendees learn so much. I mean, it is so evident that we are back from COVID. The employers want to learn, the suppliers want to share, and I love how you made the reference on get in the game. It is the theme. So on behalf of Max and I, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you supporting WCI and being here. WCI is consistently an important conference for our company, Sedgwick, and I hope you're enjoying your week as much as we are.